part of town. These billboards are a fucking waste of money.
Self-centered credit boards, if you ask me.
MadWorld credits. Okay. Oh, my favorite track of the game. Well, one of my favorites.
The game designers are the guys who are in charge of this clusterfuck.
Wow, they're actually going down to credits?
Which one is the lead programmer? He's the one not getting laid more than the other programmers. So many nerds, so little time.
They say programmers speak the language of computers because nobody else will speak to them.
I didn't know you were a programmer.
I'm not going to be able to say it one more
with
night.
all these guys.
I remember that night.
Hey, that guy was in my How to Draw for Slow Learners class.
I didn't have good enough grades to get into that class. I've seen these guys, and they're ugly as sin. Worst models ever.
Modelers, not models, you idiots.
They're still ugly.
The lead animator is the lower intestine of the animation world.
Yep, cause he's full of shit.
Animators are the guys who bring the action to life.
I think you mean they're the guys who get no action their whole life.
Yeah, what did I say?
If he's the lead artist, I'd hate to see the morons he leads.
Artists are like a rash. You don't know where they come from, and you don't care, just as long as they go away.
They changed their name to artists when they realized that brain-dead booger eaters wasn't going to fit on their business cards. They only had one guy as the blood effects designer? He must have been working 24/7. You know, the interface designers are...
Interface designers? How the hell did you get that job?
I said interface, not in her face.
Don't care. I'm already getting my resume ready.
You know, this is a disappointment after the amazing soundtrack he did for Anal Butt Slugs number 14.
Yeah, I bought the CD for that one. How sad to go from world-class beatbox artist to supervising sound editor.
Oh, how the might he have fallen. Sound editing? Jesus, everything sounded like a wet fart.
Sorry, that was me.
Ah, Howard.
I don't know if yelling bang every time something happens qualifies as sound programming.
I don't think story writer is the right title for this guy.
What title would you use?
I don't know, something along the lines of Mercurial Drama Queen hat.
Works for me.
Hey, look at this. The spell checker gets a credit too.
Ken Pontac and Warren Graff write to support themselves while they try to succeed in their true calling.
What's that?
Male prostitution.
This guy's storyboards remind me of the work of a famous artist.
A classic or modern artist?
Now, I was thinking of that gorilla at the zoo who makes pictures with his own shit.
This guy's not that good.
He won this job because of the work he did from the back of a matchbook. We could file lead cinematic designer under made-up job titles and just move on. They have to start calling interns cinematic animators after the intern riots back in July. Jesus, these guys couldn't frame Howard for sex crime.
Wow, they must really suck.
I know.
After everything I've seen, I think the designer should be fired.
All part of their grand design.
Okay. This is the extra credits. Since the glorious announcers aren't doing anything else, now I can finally talk about the game. MadWorld. This game came out in '09, I believe, 2 years ago. Probably wrong, I kind of 10. That would be 2 years ago. '09 would be 3, because 2012. Right. Wii title. Most Wii titles are classified under family friendly. This is a family game. It's for the adults of the family. But yeah. Its controls were awkward at first, but once I got to playing them, they were actually pretty good. The only problem was the camera, mainly for the fact you couldn't really control it at all. You could only get it to follow behind you. And during all the action, you might need to have a good view of where everything is, but the camera didn't really do that for me. But when it was just a small group, or just a boss, it worked excellent. Lots of ways to kill things. Yeah. It was humorous, and okay, I can't talk over how awesome the soundtrack for this game is awesome. I can't emphasize that enough. I've read that it's mainly hip hop. I I don't know my music genres that well. I can't recognize one way or another. But seriously, all throughout the game, it gave awesome music. And for a game like this, you'd expect screamo or death metal, but instead it gave upbeat hip hopping, which honestly fitted a lot better and made all the fights extra awesome. I did like how once we hit the Area 63 though, they started reusing tracks. But they were still good tracks. All the boss fights were good in my opinion. Some of them were a tad disappointing, but there wasn't one boss fight where I was dreading it entirely. Frank! No, not even Frank. He was still fun too. One thing that was awkward was the fact that when you look at the game's gameplay, you don't expect anything real serious. But when it actually gets to the cutscenes, it's got an interesting storyline. And I lost track of here and there, but then again, I wasn't looking at the game the entire time. The announcers were probably one of the better parts, and I hope those two guys still get plenty of voice work. Well, I know one of them is. The one who voices Marcus Phoenix. I need to write down notes.
Which one was the producer?
He showed up that one time with pizza for everybody and asked if everything was okay, and then he left.
I thought that was the pizza delivery guy.
Well, he's both. The director's a lot like my dad. He gets drunk, he yells a lot, he passes out in a pool of his own drool. He's harmless, and people usually just ignore his ramblings.
Oh god, they got nothing to say about Sega. The katana can now be used. The double chainsaw can now be used. Unlockables, awesome.
Sega.
Well, that was MadWorld. Great game, loads of fun. So, after we get through the introduction once more, I've been Evil Homer 91. If you like any parts of this Let's Play at all, please go ahead and subscribe. I've got more in planned. If you like the game itself, I rented it from Gamefly. It's about 5 hours if you play it. 5 to 6 hours if you play it non-stop. And don't go through any of the challenges or whatnot, but I'm pretty sure you can go through the extra levels and some new challenges have been unlocked. In fact, let's check that real quick before I go. When I'm making a full part. Select it. Oh, new game. New game mode. I'll just sit like normal right now. Okay, just want to check one thing real quick before I sign off. Okay, if it's just going to play the introduction cutscene again, I think this is a good time to sign off. I've been Evil Homer 91. If you enjoyed any of these videos in this Let's Play, please subscribe to my channel. Little button up in the upper left. If you like the game itself, it's for the Nintendo Wii. Rated M for mature. Shouldn't be too cheap. You can probably get it for 20 bucks, or you can just rent it from Gamefly like I did. So, hope you all enjoyed, and see you for the next Let's Play, whatever that is.